Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. I'd like to focus in and zoom in a little bit more in depth on the sort of denial and the bargaining feeling or stage that occurs in the devaluation, the discard phase after engaging in a relationship with a narcissist or a psychopathic individual. And this sort of stage of disappointment, this stage of disbelief, this stage of feeling like you've just lost something that has been life-changing to you, or an individual who you feel has become so responsible for your evolution, who's been so responsible for your happiness, or perhaps because of you were in this relationship with this individual, you made so many positive changes in your life, or they made you feel a specific way, or they made you feel a certain way about yourself, so you were able to feel differently about yourself, and therefore you had some new emotions in your life that hitherto you did not experience prior to meeting this individual. So you, in essence, became a new person while engaged with this person, and not marriage engaged, but I'm talking about engaged with this person. And that's the love bombing stage, where when we discuss relationships that are with individuals who are narcissistic, psychopathic. These are individuals who display a pathological sense of self-importance. And they're very controlling, very emotionally manipulative. You just can't be yourself around them. The term is, you're walking on eggshells. You're always afraid that they're just going to get set off in any moment. You could just walk in the door and that's enough for them to get pissed off. And there you go. You're just, you're a target of their aggression, their projection, or, it's just a withdrawal where you're not really getting a lot from them, and they're not giving you the love, the attention that you feel you deserve and need as part of the relationship. And so you're feeling, sort of a disappointment from realizing that this relationship has issues. Or this person has guilted you into distracting you or derailing you from so much of your life so that you can concentrate on their needs. And you feel that it's fulfilling your needs, and you've become this and this person by loving them, by being supportive of them, by being their fan, by being their target, or the term supply in a narcissist or psychopathic relationship. Someone who, in essence, this person has targeted, focused in, honed in on as basically declaring the fact that you are like this and they are like this, and they need to keep this stratosphere going where they're, it's very disrespectful. It's like, they're always trying to keep this separation between the two of you. And it doesn't allow you to grow and mature and develop as a person. The more you try to go up, the more pushback you're going to get, and the more ground down you're going to be to remind you that you are less than them. So you, in essence, always feel it while you're around this person. So in the beginning, even though when you were around this person, you felt like, I am the this, I am the that, I am the man, I'm the lady, I'm the golden, I'm a princess, I'm a prince. Around, this individual, you were at this new kind of, place in your life, and, open the door for them, close the door, let me do this, or they did that for you, and you felt, wow, this is like this wonderful relationship. And then, in the bargaining, basically, the bargaining stage occurs when you found a couple texts, you've heard a couple things behind your back, you've got the smear campaign going on, they're trying to smear your reputation, the false lies and accusation. Maybe you found out they've got, so-and-so and so-and-so that they're also very close to, and that you've just been scammed out of a love relationship and cheated on, and, you don't want this to be, and you want to, but it makes sense for us to stay together because we're so good. I mean, look how good we are together, and, you're entering in the bargaining process. And, that sort of anger and feeling like you are kind of stuck and consumed in that anger, I want you to realize that to help you move through that anger stage, the anger is very appropriate to feel because you are justified, you are right in feeling that anger, because no one should have to take that treatment. No one should have to be yelled at, cursed at, taking all their negativity, and, you were supportive of them, or, you were so good to them, you were faithful. They're not faithful to you. You found out just some, not pleasant side of them, and you had maybe tolerated it, or they made you promises that, oh, this was just, I was out of character. No, this is their character. They were just trying to keep you around as a targeted supply for a little bit longer. And so you are going through this anger. And this anger, which can be just repeating a statement and feeling, I'm so mad, I hate this person, I'm so angry, why did this happen to me? Why, this is the anger. And this is the anger stage, which is a very strong emotion, but it's a very low vibration emotion. So the anger it's very low vibration. Not only is it strong negative energy, but it's low vibration because it's not really productive. It's kind of like not about joy, bliss, happiness, where you kind of feel yourself, happiness, productive, you're enjoying life, you're in the flow of life, you're doing what you feel is your life purpose, or you feel like you're doing what you want to do, you feel like your life is fulfilled, has meaning, it's enriched, all these things are kind of coming together for you. When you're in that anger state, and especially if the parent, if you are an individual who's had narcissistic parents, and you have been in that anger state for a long time, oftentimes people stay in that anger for months, which then become years, which then become whole chapters of your life, which then become whole segments of your life. And that anger can then turn into a very rebellious person, a very self-sabotaging person, a very down and out person, a very depressed person, anxious, all because you were angry, you were mistreated, and you have, basically you had to suck it up, or, you were not listened to. That anger didn't have a place to vent. You didn't have a chance to resolve it. You didn't have a chance to work it through. So it just became kind of like, part of your being. I just kind of came like interwoven, and it had to be, because maybe as a child you didn't have a place to like let it out, or your parents will have none of that. You should be so grateful you've got a roof over your head. It was the guilt trip. You should be so glad for this. You should be so glad for that. And like, in other words, your emotions were basically told were not important, or didn't exist, or were wrong. You have no right to feel this way. All the other erroneous messages perhaps that you had felt or received at the hands of a narcissistic or psychopathic individual. This can, cause a lot of unresolved anger, which then results in isolation, which then results in, not growing and kind of pushing the boundary for yourself. Physically or emotionally or psychologically, you kind of give up. You become kind of what they call stuck or blacked. And it's kind of like, this anger can then turn, the thoughts, emotions repeated over time become a pervasive mood. And then that mood over time becomes like part of your identity. And then you're like, this isn't me. Like, I don't want to live this way. I don't like these angry outbursts. I don't like feeling out of control. I don't like feeling like I'm in a job that I hate. I don't like the fact that I'm, maybe with these kids anymore who I'm hanging out with, who maybe are destructive, or who do a lot of drugs or over drinking, and you feel like you're throwing your life away. That can be oftentimes due to the plague of anger that becomes unresolved, and it's just like the foundation. It just becomes part of everything. It's like always there, and sometimes people feel like they just can't get away from it. And so that anger can be very destructive, because people lose concentration. They can't focus on their classes. They're going to classes, and or they're going to college, and what's wrong at home, and you got all these issues, and you're like, I don't even deserve these issues. These are not my problems, and I'm supposed to now fix these problems that aren't even mine, and I haven't even had a chance to live yet. I haven't even had a chance, why do I deserve this? I did what I'm supposed to do, and then you go through this, like, this doesn't make sense, this illogical situation. And so that anger, if you hold on to that for too long, that can become very destructive. So it has its rightful place. You need to vent it out. You need to, express it, and, realize that you have to, when you choose your battles, you have to choose them well, because if you're trying to angry with a narcissist or a psychopath, I mean, you're not going to get the closure, the discussion. I understand where you're coming from. That's, empathy, where you get that back and forth. I understand what you need. I understand that I did this wrong. I apologize. I was tired. I apologize. We didn't have money. I apologize. This, whatever the experience, you have a resolving, what's called a resolution. You hug, you kiss, you shake hands, you high five. Let's not let this happen again. That wasn't fair. There's some what we call resolution, and oftentimes with a narcissist or a psychopath, that whole part right there, that's not part of the program with them. That's not part of what they're capable of, because they don't have empathy, and oftentimes they don't have those needs at all. So they don't feel that they've done anything wrong, and they don't have the needs for a resolution. They don't have the needs to understand people. They don't have the needs, so they're not like getting what you're all about, and they're not seeing the value in it. So it's not that you're not important, you are. Your emotions are very valid and are very valuable. But when you are around people who don't have the ability to see the value, or don't have that same need themselves, because in a narcissistic individual, they only have the needs for themselves to be up on the pedestal. Remember the pathological self-importance. They don't have the needs to get along with people. As long as you're, supplied to them, and you're telling them that they're better, making them feel that they're better than everybody else, feeding their ego, always giving, you're still habituated to that. I'm here to help you with this. I'm here to tell you how great you are about that. I'm here to be, fanning the fire of you, which then becomes a fire which consumes you with anger, basically. And you wonder why you're angry. It's because it's not your fire within. You're getting basically burnt from someone else's, needs, and you're not having that inner fire within, which is true passion, happiness, bliss, joy in life. That is your passion. That is your empowerment. And so it is very important to realize that this anger can become consuming. Not only consuming of you, your time, your energy, your focus, your attention. People end up having ADD, ADHD, medicated disorders, etc. So be very cautious. And what I always recommend is to keep stock. Take time. Take time, not like a stopwatch, but when you're going through a lot of this anger, try to record how many hours, how many minutes you were spent in that anger state. If you find that you are perpetually angry for hours, days, weeks, and this is becoming even longer than weeks, this is becoming months where you're perpetually angry and you're not able to move through that, you need to, curtail it down and okay, enough is enough. I'm getting control. If I can have anger, I'm going to have anger for 10 minutes, allow myself to vent, allow myself to write, and then I'm going to snap it and then get back onto what I want to do and fulfill the meaning in my life. Those are the I wants I'm going to become that we focus on in the Recovery Journal. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos help. Please share, please subscribe. More great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Thank you.